What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Sportscast. It's me, Andy Grant. Now, Gary Judge cannot make it this week, so I have got in as his replacement an equally bitter gobshite, and that is Jamie Niels.
What is? Good to be back.
It is. You've been on it a few times, haven't you, lads? So thank you for making the trip.
You're welcome. All good. All good. Yourself?
Good. We got a quick fire question straight away because people knew you were on.
Oh.
And wanted to know about the snuzz at Cheltenham. One of the lads took snuzz, that thing you put in your gum in Cheltenham, and took a whitey and was sick all over the minibus.
I kind of set him up, didn't I, a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
I know people who haven't done, to be fair, I haven't done that much of it, but like, you either take it or you don't. And I've been with people who don't take it, and there's only one thing that happens, and you get white, especially if you've been a day on the ale. And I offered it about the minibus tonight, and poor fella spewed all over himself. Yeah. But
so don't.
To be fair, I did give it to him, but he did say the same thing happened the week before. So
he should have known better.
He should have known better.
So we got Jay with us this week. Once again, we're in the workshop in Waterloo. It's on the corner of St John's Road, Liverpool Road. Perfect for a roast, and again you get 20% off if you book in advance rather than just turn up, so make sure you take advantage of that. And also, the thing that I'm most excited about this summer with the Euros being on is we've teamed up with a team from Soccer Locker, and you get 10% off when you type in Leggett10 at checkout. That's all uppercase Leggett10, and all of your belter retro jerseys are on sale there. There's some absolute belters of the old school kits, internationals and club football. You talking about a Juventus one, wasn't you?
Yeah, I've put an order in for the pink Juve one.
Pink Juve one. Yeah. Some absolute belters on there. So check them out, Soccer Locker. Get 10% off when you type in Leggett10 at checkout. Right, we've got some football, some golf, some tennis, some boxing, some F1. Right, we'll start with the footy, as I think that'll take on most of the show. And there's a bit of a weird one, right? In fact, before we get into like the heavy stuff, Chelsea have sacked Pochettino. Did you see that?
Did see that. Bit of a mad one, innit? Considering how well he finished.
Yeah.
You know, they finally started looking like a team, didn't they? And by the sounds of it, all the players were playing for him and behind him, so it's a bit of a mad one. I read something that it's the guy's name Bowley who owns them. He done a speech I think last week saying, you know, things are going to take a bit of patience, and that's what they're in for, patience, and then this week he's done that. So it's one of them, innit?
Do you know what? On Chelsea fans, I spoke about this FFP and how Chelsea are Bowley's bending. By the way, I keep on getting pulled up for calling him Todd Bowley or Ted Bowley.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Todd.
I call him Ted. Got pulled up on that, but then I made the point about financial fair play, about it should really, listen, I don't know the real book, and I'm clearly not a successful multi-billionaire businessman, but I made the point that it should really be what happens on the pitch. And Chelsea have sold a hotel which they own to Mr. Bowley's other company, but then are renting it back to Chelsea, or something like that. So they've kind of found a loophole in it, which on one hand you say fair play, but when it comes to football, it's not really how it should be done, in my opinion. Muskie made a reel of it on Instagram, right? And it's got about 160,000 views, right?
Throwing me under the bus, yeah.
Going back.
For doing my job.
Oh no, like, listen, great. I love all the little clips you do, but you should see how many comments just calling me like a Scouse victim, moaning bastard, all this, honestly.
What, Chelsea fans?
Yeah, it's gone mad. Chelsea fans being so offended by me saying, I think that's probably a bit wrong. Anyway, that's not the only thing then the owners are doing. They've sacked Pochettino. And like you said, they had a topsy-turvy season, didn't they? Actually, they let me down in a couple of last-man competitions. I backed them a few times, and they got beat every time I backed them. But in the end, the end of the season, they were flying, weren't they? Doing really well.
I think it's hard when you spend that amount of money to get them to all gel, you know what I mean? And I think finally a manager was seen to do it. And then, yeah, I think everyone who's played under Poch seems to like him, don't they? You get that vibe. Yeah. He's obviously a good people man, and you know they started playing. They went from I think 12th into Europe in the Europa League, haven't they? So
yeah, well, he got Europe, didn't he, on the last day? So
everyone's kind of on the up, and I'd say Chelsea fans are probably over the summer looking forward to getting Chelsea back. I mean, now they're probably back to square one again, whoever they get, you know.
Well, there's talk of De Zerbi going after he's left Brighton. There's talk of the Ipswich manager coming in. and there's talk of the Leicester manager coming in. So probably by the time this comes out, I think he was keen to get things wrapped up by the end of the week. Could even be by Friday when you're listening to this that they've got a new manager. But where does it leave Poch as well?
United, I think.
Really?
I think Taraga will be gone by the weekend because they get steamrolled in, and I think these talks have been going before Ten Hag got the job, weren't they? So
did you not see his big rallying cry though on the last day at Old Trafford?
Yeah, I know, but it means nothing, does it?
He can do that all he wants. It's out of his hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
He can rally as much as he wants. While he's there, he's the manager and he's going to do everything he can as the manager. But it's not his decision whether he stays or goes.
Do you think, what's their new owner called? Man United's Ratcliffe.
Jim Ratcliffe, yeah.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Do you think he'll do it Daniel Levy and sack him on the eve of the cup final like he did for Mourinho? That'd be harsh, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and probably give them the best chance of winning it though.
Yeah.
In all seriousness.
I think they're out 7-1 to win. You know, I can't think of a cup final where one of the teams have been so big. So you think then he's going to get sacked after the cup final?
Yeah, they get steamrolled, he'll get sacked, I think. And then I think the perfect place for Poch to go in, I think.
It would be, to be fair, yeah. I think it'd be a good fit.
Because their team's a bit like what Chelsea's like. They're all...
Yeah.
Some of them are playing for them, some of them aren't, you know what I mean? So I think they need someone in there who's going to kind of get them all in the same boat and rowing together type thing, you know what I mean? And
yeah, I like Poch. I think he's a great manager. Much would you have had him at Liverpool if you knew this was going to happen?
Based on his time at Tottenham, I'd probably say yeah. And then based on his time at Chelsea, just again, first part of the season, obviously you can't really look too much into that. But they were very up and down. It was like he didn't know what identity to give them, and which was near enough the opposite of when he was at Spurs. He had like a strong identity throughout the team. I think he's one of the better options that are out there on the merry-go-round at the moment. But we were saying the other day at the match, like the top managers of old, that kind of style isn't there anymore. Where you've got like big name managers like flying around everywhere. It's like we've got the new wave coming through, haven't we? Like we didn't know too much about Arne Slot like 4 or 5 weeks. Probably still don't know too much about him now.
No.
But yeah, Poch would have been a safer one to go for. But apparently, the way that the Liverpool board are doing it, all stats and data and all that kind of stuff in it.
The last thing I say on Chelsea, I'm fucking probably why they're so hard to manage. Have you seen some of that Mudryk? How do you say his name? Is it
Mudryk?
Have you seen some of his TikToks and Instagrams of? Oh my god, so bad.
That's what they are. They're a bunch of celebrities, them Chelsea players, aren't they? That's why I think hats off to him getting them. I think everyone that went in, it's managing a bunch of individuals rather than managing a team, you know what I mean? And he's kind of got them going as a team.
That's why I couldn't be a manager at Chelsea. I couldn't take him serious.
Yeah.
Well, that penalty thing the other week was enough, wasn't it, to literally prove to everyone that it is a team of individuals.
Another mad story in the managerial merry-go-rounds was Vincent Kompany being linked to Bayern Munich. That is a mad one, that.
He's a mad one. Weirdly, I'm a bit of a fan of him, though.
I think he's too stubborn.
I think I'm a fan of him. I think he's got, obviously, he probably needs to learn how to be a bit more of a, you know, we all knew you can't play like that for Bayern, you know what I mean? But I think in a good team, I'd be interested to see what he's like, because I do think he's got the foundations to be an alright gaffer, yeah.
That style of play is good for a good team.
You're going to know your team, haven't you? That's why I think Dyche did so well at Burnley, because he knew his team, he made them hard to beat, and that's effectively what they did.
I think he'll have more pressure from the owners if he went to Bayern as well, to change. Like I think he got given a lot of freedom when he was at Burnley.
A bit more hard to beat, they would have had a chance of staying up, because so many games to give so many stupid goals away, you know what I mean? And I think it was their own downfall. They were their own downfall in the end.
Yeah, I'm like you. I thought they done well in the manner they got promoted, but he just showed no openness to want to change, you know what I mean? And I just thought you're just too stubborn. You've got to be able to adapt and overcome, and he just didn't, and ends up having a really poor season, didn't he, I guess? Even
with his persisting with Trafford for so long in goal, and you could see that he was struggling. You could see that it was getting a bit on top of him, and it was like, no, I've paid for him. I'm gonna push through with him. And it wasn't until he actually took him out and gave him a little bit of a breather that the team actually benefited from it. And that goes back to him just being quite stubborn and only thinking of that one track.
It's like you said, if he does get the Bayern job and ends up with all these amazing players, he might end up looking like a great manager in 12, 18 months' time. Coming on back to the Prem then. So, if you didn't know, Man City won the league again. Shock, horror. And Arsenal were the ones who lost out. I think that was their best chance of ever winning the league. I think.
But again?
Yeah. All right, so...
Stupid thing to say that is.
Well, for starters, Man City are going to win it again next year. So let's just...
You don't know that, though, because Pep could get off this year or next year, you know what I mean?
All right, so the last 7 years, right, they've won it 6 times.
Yeah, but if Pep gets off, it's a whole different ball game, isn't it?
Well, he's not getting off this... Well, no, it's not a whole different ball game at all.
I think it is.
Right. You know, and this wound me up, this, right, we'll come into Man City properly in a second. What wound me up most was 2 people who I fucking love, by the way, Klopp and Carragher. You know, absolute heroes of mine, the pair of them. It did wind me up though when they said they both said it, that even no other manager could have done with City what Pep's done. I totally disagree with that. It's like playing Monopoly, right, me and you.
Really?
Listen to me, hear me out. It's like playing Monopoly and you're starting the game off with hotels on Mayfair, all the green ones, a few of the yellows and 1 or 2 of the blues.
How is it though?
Because of the foundations that were built on 115 charges.
Yeah, no, but like who?
So it's like,
what superstars have they got that when they signed them were superstars? Haaland.
Haaland was unbelievable.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
Name another one.
What do you mean name another one? They're just buying the best.
Like who?
Mate, I haven't got every one of Man City's
You didn't know who
transfers.
Rodri was before he came to City.
No, but I'm not a little ming who plays champ manager all
You
day.
didn't know who Bernardo was. Didn't that Kanji? Didn't know him. Ake was average for Bournemouth.
Right. Number one, I don't know all of Man City's transfer
Do
dealings.
I? But like what I'm saying is, obviously, he's improved them no end. You know what I mean?
But
apart from Haaland, he's a superstar, obviously. But
even then, right, the players he brought in, Ake, right, he didn't find for 15 million or something. He paid, what was it, 50, 60 million for him?
Yeah, but from Bournemouth, like, no one else,
so
everyone else.
Regardless of the players, whether he's improved more or not, that's not my point. My point is how they've spent money has been ridiculous. And then that's then laid the foundations for Pep to come in and play how he wants with some of the best players that are around, because they were able to buy the best players around because they were cooking the books, seemingly so.
Well, you think Ake was one of the best defenders around?
Was he not one of the best prospects? Yeah, I'd say he was, yeah. Hence why they paid 60 or 70 million for him.
Yeah, but now he's like probably one of the best defenders in the Prem.
I wouldn't go that far, like.
Probably is, though, isn't he?
My point is, right, though, again, come on to signings in a second, because I don't know them all. My point is, though, Pep, fair enough, yeah, he's got them playing well. But I believe that the other managers who could have easily done the job he's done and won 4 on the bounce with that. So you're saying Ancelotti couldn't have done that? You're saying Klopp couldn't have done it?
No, but it didn't take away that's because they're all good managers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Guardiola is a good manager, yeah. He's a great manager.
Amazing manager, yeah.
He's a great manager, yeah. But I think what no one is realising is that he's done it with this massive black cloud over his head. And it's, again, just think about me and you playing Monopoly, right? Because you look at Arsenal, right, how close they come, right? It's like you starting off, right, and you've got, what's the other purple one called? Mayfair.
I've got a fucking clue about Monopoly.
Sounds
like you fucking love it, though.
Oh, yeah.
I do love a game of Monopoly.
Get out more, you know.
So you've got your hotels, you're starting with hotels on, say, 5 or 6 different properties, right? And I'm starting with nothing, right? So as we're playing, the chances are you're probably going to win. And I've got to be really fucking lucky to get to the end to stand a chance. Now, Arsenal were looking really lucky. It was like we're playing Monopoly again and they've missed landing on your hotels. And they're like, fucking hell, God, we've nearly got to the end here. And then right at the end, they land on Mayfair and boom, they come up short. Because to win that league, going up against this City team with all the charges, you've got to be so lucky. And Arsenal were lucky with injuries. They were lucky in the second half of the season, all the strikers started playing well. And they were lucky that City never had De Bruyne for half the season. You know, he missed half the season. I think he still comes second in the assists league. So my point is, that was Arsenal's best ever chance to win the league, because Man City won't have a season again where they're going to be missing De Bruyne half the season. Haaland, if you think compared to his previous season, had a bit of an off season, as he only scored 30 odd and not 50 odd. And Arsenal, again, were dead lucky with injuries. They probably might get injury to Saliba maybe or something. Or
you could see something different if Arsenal get a striker that's going to get them 35 goals then.
But they didn't need a striker towards the end. They beat everyone.
It's going to help though if they improve.
Hang on. they won the last 16, 17 games apart from Villa.
Yeah, no, but Villa...
And they were beating everyone 5 and 6-0.
Could be different though, eh?
So what, they would have been 9-0 instead of 6?
If you have a...
If you get a proper number 9...
Game changer, yeah.
They were beating everyone 5 and 6-0.
Yeah, but they could have... When they needed the goal against Villa and they couldn't get it, and you know what I mean?
Or when they needed the goal against City, which is effectively the game that changed everything, really.
I think that was their best chance of winning it. I really do. And I just think it'll be Man City that win it again next year.
I also think when it comes to like the Klopp and Carragher thing, Klopp can say one thing but think something else. He's not going to go out looking bitter. He might think something, but he may as well just say something positive, something nice, and fucking get off.
Yeah, Klopp defo has his own opinion on all those 115 charges. He's obviously not going to come out and say it. And listen, Carragher is one of the best known, isn't he? One of the best minds in football. So I'm not saying, obviously, his opinion's worth nothing. It's worth a hell of a lot more than mine. But Pep is not the only one who could have coached that team to 4 Premier League titles on the bounce. He's just not. Klopp could have done it. Probably Wenger could have done it. Ferguson could have done it. Mourinho could have done it. Zidane could have done it. Ancelotti could have done it. I'm telling you now.
I'm not Zidane, but the others are the best managers we've probably
Zidane's won 3 or 4 European Cups. Yeah. You messing? Pep's only won 1. Anyway, coming on to Man City then. On this, and before I even start on this, right, here's where I think the bigger problem is, right? And this is the bigger problem. When I say my opinion, right, on Man City now, right, the big thing is, right, you support Everton. You got Man United fans, you got Chelsea fans, you got Arsenal fans, right? Everyone's got their own interests, right? So essentially, no one's really that bothered what I say as a Liverpool fan if I'm moaning about City, because you're only really asked what Everton do, they're only really asked what United do, they're only really... So, straight away, not everyone's going to come together on this whole, opinion on Man City. So that's, I think, the first problem, that not everyone's going to come together because of the tribal and rivalry that football has. That's my first point. The second point, which I kind of found, like yesterday, and even in our group chat, Mark, who listens to the podcast, he's like, fucking hell, Grandy, you're going down a conspiracy rabbit hole type thing. And which is fair enough. People might listen to the Man City talk and think, God, but so what? Do you know what I mean? Boring. Like, who cares? Probably everyone's bending the rules slightly. So a lot of people are like, who's fucking asked? Do you know what I mean? And I'm a little bit like that in the sense that I love going to the match to be with my mates just as much as I do what's going on the pitch type thing. But I find this one in particular just so mad that it's not being looked at a bit more. Because on this podcast, must be 6 months ago, I said that my mate in Manchester, who'd mega switched on in the kind of money world, if you like, said that there was a nuclear power plant that the UK were seeking £50 billion worth of investment for coming from China. But because of political relations, that deal got scrapped, and then they were then looking for £50 billion from somewhere else. That £50 billion then got stumped up by the same guy who owns Man City. Right? And I was like, come on, surely, with these charges hanging over their heads, but there's also a £50 million investment coming. Surely, like, they've got to tread that carefully. And everyone was a bit like, it's a bit far-fetched, that. Well, it come out this week via the New York Times. It says, the UK government has admitted that its embassy in Abu Dhabi and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office have discussed the charges levelled at Man City by the Premier League, but are refusing to disclose it because it could risk the UK's relationship with the UAE. So basically, the politicians have deemed it, a bit kind of, this is a bit... Because we need £50 billion worth of investments, but actually the people who are giving us the £50 billion have got the kind of sports washing arm of Man City being the face of them, who might come under a bit of scrutiny. So we need to tread carefully around that. So that's going on right now, and I believe that's the reason why these 115 charges aren't sticking. So anyway, I sent that to my mate, right? And then he sent me like a raft of other stuff. And the same people, right, who own Man City is the board. It's called Mubadala. Have you heard of it? So it's Mubadala. So Google it, right? So this is a board. No, this is honestly mad. Like, this is mad. So there's a board of directors, right? And who sits on the board of directors? Who runs this? It's an Abu Dhabi investment firm, right? And who...
If anyone's listening to this in bed, they're going to be fucking fast asleep.
So who owns this investment firm? I don't care. I'm going down to that road. Because it's funny. And here's why it's funny, though, because it affects you more than you think, right? So the fella who owns it is His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed. He's the fellow who owns City, right? So he owns this investment firm, right? On the board of directors, right, is His Excellency Khalifa Al Mubarak, right? He's Man City's chairman. Okay, right? So this board of directors, right, which essentially who own Man City, have pledged to give 10 billion quid to the UK government, right? Which Boris Johnson, there he is, was sitting there watching Man City's chairman pledge to give 10 billion quid, right? He's also then the fella who hands over the Premier League trophy to Pep. Right, now, if you look at this investment company, right, they're just about to take over the newspaper of the Telegraph. So they're trying to buy the Telegraph. So they're trying to buy the media. Right, in this 10 billion quid that they've given to the UK, it covers all different areas. So it covers life science, technology, energy transition, and infrastructure. So they're basically getting the kind of talons in everywhere where basically the UK government has fell short. So basically the Tory government have, not really managed the country very well. So there's been pockets of society that have been massively underdeveloped. And now the Abu Dhabi have come in and said, you know what, you're struggling with that. Yeah, here's a couple of billion. We'll plug that all for you. So the Tories are gone, yeah, that's great, thanks, look at this great partnership we've got. And because of that great partnership, which they've got, they're now in a very, very powerful position to then go, well, we've given you all this money, we've helped you out there, just look the other way while we
offered them,
do this. Now, off footy for a minute, and just to prove how it affects everyone's daily life. Do you know when you've got in private nursery and children, like, you send your kid to school, the UK government...
I'm nodding like that, yeah.
I know, yeah. But the UK government's got to find your child a nursery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if they can't find you one under, like, in the system type thing, they have to provide you to go to nursery. If your child's got special needs or something like that, right, if it's got needs to go, right, they're seeing a massive, massive increase, right? This is, again, mad. And, again, it doesn't really affect me. It probably won't affect 99% of us, but it's just interesting to see how this is kind of working. So, it's basically being outsourced, right? So where is it? The Emirates of Abu Dhabi entered in the market in 2021, acquiring the Witherslack Group by its Mumdala Sovereign Wealth Fund. So basically, there are certain criteria that the government will say we'll pay for it if we can't provide it to a private sector. Now, they've been investing into certain things. So, for example, like a child's nursery type thing, and they might put the price at X amount, but the government have got to pay it. So they're kind of plugging holes in the way we run our country so that they can just get further and further in bed with the government. Anyway, it's a bit deep and it's a bit heavy, and people might have switched off now. And which is fine. You can just switch off and think, you know what, fuck it, I'm not arsed. But you can't then be that arsed next season when Man City are just running away with it.
It's clever, isn't it?
Is it though?
Yeah, obviously, because they're getting away with it and they're winning everything.
But they're doing it because they're just in bed with politicians. Like, how can you have...
I'd take it for everything.
Well, well, that's because you're a bitter bastard, that's why. But yeah, would you...
You wouldn't take it for Liverpool?
No, because...
Yeah, but you won it all, and you so...
Yeah, by doing it the right way, though.
Yeah.
I just think... And also, if you look at the odds of relegation for next season for Man City, they're only 25-1. So I think the bookies are covering themselves, because the thing is, this is that big. Like, I don't know what'll happen, but people just need to realise that it's a lot bigger than just this. It's because there's billions and tens of billions of pounds worth of investment that's been plugging the UK for years now.
It almost might end up too big that it'll just get brushed out the way.
Well, we're like that. I think they'll get a £300-500 million fine. They'll say, yeah, pay that. And well, it is pocket money when they're signing up to give the UK £10 billion. So yeah, basically Man City's owners via an investment group have been funding the UK in various different sectors, that it's making it really, really hard for the Premier League to actually do anything about it.
Like the fucking FBI.
But you know what me and my mate was talking about? Like, laughing and joking, because I was just sending it to basically anyone who'd listen. And do you know the guy who took down Lance Armstrong, that investigative journalist? You kind of need someone like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? obviously, everything that I've read out.
You putting yourself forward, are you?
Yeah, they're coming for you, lad.
But the thing
I'm
is,
not your mate if they ask me.
the thing is, everything I've said, it's out there. Do you know what I mean? It's a public domain, and that's the thing, though. Unless you're that arse to look, no one is. And that you know about Man City, you just go down. You're off the news. Oh, they've got 115 charges. No one actually knows. But then when you go, oh yeah, the fucking defence contract that the UK have got, it's from this investment firm, sovereign wealth firm, that are owned by Man City's owners. That's when you start going. Now, obviously, everything that I've said is in the public domain, but if you got a proper investigative journalist who like looked at things,
Lines, I think,
yeah, like the guy did with Lance Armstrong, someone far more educated than me, but who knows? And speaking of Man City, they just give Scott Carson another 1-year contract.
Best job in the world, then.
He used to play for Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, like 40 grand a week, something, isn't
Oh, I don't reckon he'd be on that much.
he? I don't know, bread, anyway.
I'll have a little look for you as well. Like,
Yeah.
39, yeah, he's been there. I don't even think he's probably been eligible for some of the trophies, has he? I think he's played 4 times in 5 years. But, yeah.
That just must be... Well, I know it's partly down to the fact that he's English, but he must just be a good lad to have.
Well, did you watch that?
The dressing
Did you
room
watch
and
the
that
City
much,
documentary?
Yeah.
No.
And he was good value, and like he was a laugh. You could tell, like he's good to have around.
He's always going into like the treatment room and like having a laugh at the lads.
Having a bit of Bayern and a bit of crack is invaluable in them sessions.
Is it worth 40 grand a week, though?
Yeah.
If it keeps some of your other players happy and they're going to stay.
Exactly, yeah.
Liverpool...
It's like Salah and Simicast.
Surely you can pay like a magician or something to come in and make everyone happy for less than 40 grand a week.
Liverpool defo will have had like clicks and it's like we need
Simicast
to keep him to keep him.
Simicast got a life contract at Liverpool as long as Mo Salah's there.
Simicast like part, I don't know.
Mr. Salah's best mate, isn't he?
Really?
100%. Seen him out the other week. So my left foot well, but
Two sources are saying Scott Carson's on 30 grand at the moment. Like,
wow.
So his new one might go down a bit, but
30 grand for being a good lad.
Yeah.
You'd be on about £2 a week.
I'm fuck off, I'll be on 200.
What did you make of the England team getting announced?
Yeah, fair. Zappy that he had Southgate a bit of backbone, like, and dropped like the likes of Rashford and that, but also I think he left. I couldn't believe he left. Curtis Jones went in, didn't he? And I couldn't believe that Morgan Gibbs-White didn't get a sniff. Baffled me that. I've watched him about 10-15 times this year. Every time I thought, what a player he is.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked that Avielli didn't get a shout. I thought
Morgan Gibbs-White, I think, is leagues above both of them. Leagues above.
Also, Dominic Solanke never got a shout, did he?
Yeah.
Thought that was mad as well. He's ripped it up this season, hasn't he?
But have you seen the forwards that they've got?
Yeah.
Near enough half the team is just forwards.
Yeah,
because
there's
so,
Madison and that there in the forwards. And
there's so many people in those positions that, regardless of how much of a good season certain players have had, there's just that.
But I think the only thing is, especially with the strikers, Kane's coming in with this bad back, and if that goes, and you're relying on one or two of them, and they're not firing, then
Watkins and Tony, then, isn't it? Really, in like
every option. So I was a bit with Solanke. We've been lucky this year, I think. Well, Watkins was unlucky not to get played here, you know what I mean? I know Foden's had an amazing season, but I think Watkins had 18 goals and 10 assists or something mad like that. Like,
yeah. I was a bit surprised as well, though. You know, you're talking like Scott Carson getting kept on by Man City because he's a good lad. Mad how he didn't bring Henderson then along.
Does he need him?
Well, I think the kind of whole keeping him around the place just because he's got the experience of, you know, he's won everything at a club level. He's been there in England's most successful period. Alright, they haven't won anything, but even if he doesn't get any game time, keeping him around the place on the basis we've just said about Scott Carson, the importance of it.
I think they've got that many characters in that team now. You know, I think everyone's just look at Bellingham and just say, give the ball to him.
But also, you're talking about he's won everything, but you've got Stones in there, you've got Foden in there. Like, you've got players in there that have won everything. And probably with Henderson, it's like, he's not going to click with that many of them anymore. Like, quite a lot of his group of mates or whatever.
I don't even respect him that much anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't they respect him?
Well, obviously he did have respect for him, but like at the end of the day, a lot of them like a big time lads now, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people would rather probably listen to Bellingham than they would to Endo now. Because
Bellingham's like, he's on the verge of being world class, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, so then you don't need Henderson to do it then.
Yeah, but I think he's getting a bad rap here, mate. How much?
He's about 40.
You're messing. He's 30.
He's been in Saudi,
about
stinking the gap out, and then he's went to Ajax and been injured for 3 months.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, I'm not saying, by the way, he's nowhere near the start 11. I'm not saying that. But there are players I think I would have took him over just for him being around the place. You know, how much did he get complimented during COVID when there was no fans and you could hear him screaming at everyone what a leader he was?
Yeah, but at the same time, if he gets in the squad, everyone gives Southgate shit saying he's got no backbone and taking all his mates and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, listen, I think it's a great squad that he's took, really attack-minded. I just thought there would have been a place for him, just for experience.
Apart from your mate, Harry Maguire, and now he's still in it.
Although he's injured, isn't he, for the final, Harry Maguire? So he's been ruled out the FA Cup final. Whether he'll go on, I don't know. On the England thing, right, one thing I want to discuss, I know it's different for you, Jay, you've worked down south for a bit and stuff. One thing that annoys me, probably make a lot of enemies by saying this, but it baffles me, right, how Scousers aren't allowed to support England, and if you do, you get called a Tory or a wool. I hate England fans, right, with a passion. I cannot fucking stand England fans, and I would never go and watch them for that reason. However, as a team, I've been made up if they won.
Yeah.
You know, we've had Paddy Lacey on the podcast, right? His younger brother, I think it's Shea, might be, playing for Man United in England, right? You know Paddy from the pod, and you know, local lad. I've been made up of his brother, played for England. So then I'd want them to win. But yeah, you get caught supporting England, and it's like, you're fucking sorry. Baffles me.
Fickle, isn't it? Like, Gerrard played for England for how long, and Gerrard is how many people's role model in Liverpool, you know what I mean? So I think it's just like, it's almost like a bandwagon thing, and I think a lot of it happens in Liverpool, you know what I mean? There's a lot of kind of bandwagon things that we Scousers do, and I think it's, if one person says it, no one's going to say, oh, I got a lad for England, me, and get levered by the mates, you know what I mean? So I think when you, I don't know, me being down south, you get involved because it's piss up at the end of the day, and it's a bit of fun. I mean, I couldn't care less how they do, to be honest. Not that I asked about them, but like, I'll support them if for the piss up. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm the same. Listen, I'm not going to be like acting the way I am when Liverpool are playing. You know, desperate for them to win.
Like, I think we watched them in Vegas, didn't we?
Yeah.
Me in Vegas, we had a few pints, and they got beat, didn't they?
We watched the France
final,
game,
and they got beaten. We were like, it's a bit shit, but 4 minutes later we were fucking mad ass.
Yeah, but we were cheering when they scored.
100%, yeah.
So
I think that's the difference, though. Like, some people have, so what you just said, emotion-wise, for Liverpool v England, I think some people might be the other way, because a lot of their football and success might hinge on whether England do well or not, because their club doesn't really bring that much joy throughout the season.
Listen, and I think we're very lucky as Scousers, well, especially Liverpool fans, that, listen, there will be fellas my age, right, who love football, who are from Bradford or from Luton or from Sunderland, right, who love football, and I'm not seeing the team that they support win fuck all, right? Just by the grace of God being born in Liverpool, I've literally seen my team win everything over and over again, right? Very, very fortunate, very lucky. Unlucky Everton fans. So I get it, like, if you are from somewhere in the UK that and your team hasn't won anything, like, I totally get it, why you are passionate about England. I fucking hate England fans, because each week you see them coming to Anfield singing about Hillsborough, singing about poverty, singing about food banks, singing about always being the victim. I can't fucking stand England fans with a passion.
Have you watched that show on Netflix?
Yeah. Oh God, what's it called? The war, the break-in. I think of the war on Wembley. I think it's called.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Watch that, and it is impossible to like England fans.
Yeah, like, no, not good for you. But
they're the type of fans, right? I done an Instagram thing about it. There's a fella there standing in his bedroom, right, with an England top on, with a bottle of beer in his ma's bedroom, doing a selfie, saying, "Come on, England!" Like,
yeah, but you gotta think there's Liverpool fans that do that. There's Everton fans that do that. There's fans all over the world. No matter who they sport, you have knobhead fans.
Yeah. No, true.
You know what I mean? England don't do themselves any justice, like, but
I don't hang around with.
But like, Liverpool fans don't do them any justice when they go away. Everton fans don't do any justice when they go away. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying though is, me personally, right? I don't hang around with knobhead Liverpool fans. So
there is knobhead Liverpool fans.
Of course, there are knobhead people everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but my point is though, the things you see when England go away, for me personally, it's on the majority of being negative.
Yeah.
And on the basis, again, like I've just said, when they come to Anfield, they sing about everyone hating Scousers anyway, so why the fuck would I want to go and stand next to them in the ground? Do you know what I mean?
So that's your point, though. So you can detach yourself away from that for the footy.
Yeah.
But some people will say, I don't want to support anything that you support.
And that's what I think.
And that is why some like
so yeah,
people from around here won't.
I'm not supporting England because all the fans sing about. I get that, but the lads on the pitch aren't the supporters are.
But I've got like when I moved down south, that was one thing I was worried about, is being a Scouser down south, and like because I've followed Everton and played footy all my life, is you have that thing that us Southerners hate Scousers. And when I went down south, it's like almost complete opposite. Probably a handful of times where I met someone who has a bad review of Scousers, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I've got loads of mates who are like Chelsea fans and that, and you know, when they're with me, they're like, oh, I used to hate Scousers, but they're all right, you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's just like the football thing, and it's not as bad kind of when you go down there as you think it was, and I think people act differently. I've been away with Everton and sung stupid songs, you know what I mean? I just think when you're there, you hate the own thing, you do things, you know what I mean? I don't take it with a pinch of salt, it's fuzzy in it.
No, but I just think that it'd be different, like you've just said then, Scousers are very like, you know, they'll kind of back each other and, you know, and all that, but it's like, when someone goes against the grain, like me now saying I actually want England to win, I wonder how many other people are thinking I quite want that too, but I'm not going to say no.
Loads will, 100%.
It helps as well when you've got a few quid on them, that 3-1. I think they're a great price. So
100%.
If you want to start having an extra reason to back them, then have a little few quid on it. But yeah, I hope they win it. I really do. I will be supporting them. I won't be fucking wearing an England top and jumping up and down, fucking crazy like I do at Liverpool. But listen, this is where you're born. You're born in England, Liverpool in England. So why would you not want them to win, despite them having dickhead fans? And then last bit's the FA Cup final, last game of the season for an English club. It's only going to go one way, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess spanked, that's right. I hope you do, because same with United. Like, I'd love to see United back up at the top of the league, like just taking over from Hughes, basically, you know what I mean? Because they are a massive club, aren't they? And they probably don't deserve to be where they are now, but it's a long way. They're a long way away from being up there, you know what I mean? But I'd love to see them get rolled and then to get him out, because he does me head in Tenag. Talks and riddles, I think. He just can't have him at all.
I think there's so much. I think it's a bit harsh on him. I think there's so much wrong in that club. And for any United fans that do listen, I look at Liverpool, the state they were in, and how long it took someone like Klopp, 8 or 9 years to get us back to where we are. And even then, because of the Man City thing, we only won one Premier League. United, it's a long time to get back. And that's if you get everything right. That's if, you know, you get a bit of luck in.
If they left Mourinho in there, they would have got... Well, they did get as high as they've been in many years, but I think he's the type of gaffer what they need to get back up there. Like, they need a character, you know what I mean? They don't need a yes man, and I think that's what they've got. All the Solskjaer's a yes man, Ten Hag's a yes man, you know what I mean?
And you need a bit of luck, like, along the way. And I think Liverpool were very fortunate in that, you know, we got 140 mil for Coutinho. I mean, that was crazy, you know. And we were able to get Van Dijk and Alisson. You know, there are strokes of luck along the way that did fall into our kind of lap a little bit. I think United, you've got to have that luck in it. No, I think it's a long time before they ever challenge. And again, if City is still doing what they're doing, they've got no chance anyway. So, yeah, I can only see a City win. Maybe we'll finish off on the boxing. Just a few bits on the F1. I'll just show you, talking about knobhead England fans, just knobheads everywhere in the media. There was a publication magazine that done some sort of interview on Schumacher, but it was like through AI, quotes from AI, and published them. So the Schumacher family took them to court and won. I think they won about 170 grand because it wasn't what was said. But you just think, what type of journalist is trying to, you know, ever since he had his ski accident, he had obviously a terrible injury, and his life's been very private. Anyway, he was private anyway from what I've read, but obviously since he's recovering from his injury and, you know, he's how he is with his family, what type of journalist do you think, hey, we're going to make a story up of things he said? Just madness, innit? Just some scumbag people in the world.
Do anything for a bit of money, I suppose, isn't it?
It's crazy, man, crazy. But this weekend is the Monaco Grand Prix. I I was thinking if I was ever
One
loaded,
thing I'd love to do.
do a Conor McGregor on a boat. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of places I'd like to do the F1. I think I'd love to do Miami.
Yeah.
Just because I've been to Miami and I know how good it is. I'd love to do the F1 there.
Right, big time. We've all travelled, mate. Calm down. Yeah, no, Monaco. I have actually been to Monaco on big time as well. That is a few times, to be fair. And it's...
Everyone mistake you for Conor McGregor over there, so... Yeah, now.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant. I had a mate who lived there and visited a few times. It was a belter. But what was good as well, I see when I was looking at the F1 this weekend, this kind of Red Bull takeover, where it was Max and Perez.
Stappen and Perez, yeah.
It's been kind of added to a little bit with Charles Leclerc. He's coming second at the minute.
Lando Norris as well, isn't it?
So I think he's fourth maybe. So that 1-2 of Red Bull's been broken up temporarily. How long it lasts for, I don't know. But you want that, don't you? Because you just don't want...
I think it'd be hard around Monaco because it's a tough place to get round the cars in it. So
they don't overtake too.
Yeah, to get round Stappen, it'd be taking exceptional drive. Like,
yeah. In the tennis, so the French Open started the weekend or early next week, I think it might be. My best mate Emma Raducanu, she's pulled out of it, and she's going to take part in I think she just pulled out anyway, but she's going to play at a tournament in Nottingham to try and get ready for Wimbledon. So I don't know what the reasoning behind that was, but she's trying to get herself in decent shape for Wimbledon, and so she's given up the French Open, not playing in that.
Still 80, yeah?
I don't hate her. I just think the media, once again, just put people on pedestals way too early than they need to be. Do you know what I mean? She won the US Open in a time where, because of COVID, you could kind of skip through a lot of the wild card scenarios and didn't have to play as many games against certain people. Listen, she played great to win the tournament, but I think a lot of things were going in her favour. Take nothing away from her, she won it. But then the next day, she's on this fucking red carpet, bloody front of Vogue. But it's like, come on. So I thought that's the only thing I didn't like, which isn't her fault, is it? And she had a few bad injuries and stuff, but hopefully she can have a comeback in Wimbledon. But listen, the state of British tennis is shocking. Like, it is so bad at the minute. There's no one coming through who looks like they could either.
I think it's going to be a tough time for tennis in the next couple of years with all the ones we watched are retiring, Andy. And I think I've lost touch with it. Couldn't even name you 10 tennis players, I don't think.
No, well, Andy Murray, probably his last thing will be in... he got beat in the first round of the Geneva Open last week, and Wimbledon will be his last hoo-ha. This is a shame, innit? But I just think if there's a sport where it looks like you're too old and you should retire, it's tennis, innit?
Yeah.
Like probably tennis and boxing. You can't... You just
get old overnight, don't you? Type thing.
You can't get away from it, can you? So there's that. And yeah, it's always good watching the French Open again. It gets you excited then for Wimbledon as well. In the golf, I know you're a bit of a golfer, or you'd like to think you are. Sheffler last week, did you see all that?
Crazy.
So you tell me what you thought of it. So what I kind of seen and what I've read between the lines, I think there was a car accident. Someone sadly died, yeah. I think there must have been some sort of, congestion. Is it Scotty Scheffler?
Scotty Sheffler, yeah.
Scotty Scheffler. I think from reading between the lines, I was kind of thought, I've got a fucking tea time, I need to be out here. And he's kind of...
beelined it type thing.
He's kind of went down, their version of the hard shoulder and kind of done it like, he basically, so for anyone who doesn't know, he done what a Jamie Neal done at Cheltenham. When we couldn't get into the car park we needed to get into, Jamie wound the window down and said, do you know who I am? I'm a jockey, I'm riding today. Yes, you did. And
fuck off.
And she said, fuck off. So I think it's essentially Scotty Scheffler's done a Jamie.
Get arrested though.
No, yeah, thankfully he didn't know. And yeah, I think he's tried to just do, look, I'm Scotty, I'm playing this and playing golf, and he's ended up getting arrested. I think he's assaulted a police officer. I think it might be that's one of his charges, yeah. And he gets nicked and goes to jail for a couple of hours. He ends up doing a warm-up in jail, goes back out, and then actually plays great golf initially.
Did he have an eagle on his first hole or a birdie or something? Yeah.
But then the second day, his caddy's daughter was graduating, so he didn't have his caddy for the next day. And then the third day, he ended up falling off a cliff, and I think he finished 8th overall, which isn't bad considering he's,
Still probably made about 200 grand or 300 grand.
Yeah, but he's going to be in jail now. I think it's the first week of June. And it will be interesting to just know what happens, like, because I've seen some of the police statements saying, like, you know, they're very, you know, eager to make sure that, you know, no one's above the law. And I think that's what he's done. It's like the way you thought you were above the law by saying you're a jockey, you're riding today, and got told to fuck off.
She mustn't have been able to see me.
Oh, that's not what it was. Okay, yeah. So I think, yeah, he's just said, look, and
Didn't have that. I had 2 Madries in me under the same time. About 10:30 in the morning.
yeah. So yeah, bit of a mad week for him, innit? But
One of the best players we will probably ever see, though. He's phenomenal.
yeah. Well, he was the favourite going into that tournament, finished 8th, so yeah. And then I think the last thing, mate, to finish off on, which was brilliant, was the boxing.
Yeah, amazing.
Did you watch it?
Watched it, yeah. I was out with a few mates having a few drinks and managed to watch it. And what a fight, to be fair. What a boxer he is, Usyk. I think that 9th round was
Unbelievable one.
scary, wasn't it?
I think that, so I think, if I try and remember him back now, I think I had Usyk up the first 2 rounds, and then it was like 2-2. And then I had like maybe Fury. I had it like pretty even. Or maybe only one round in it, maybe by like the 8th, 9th round. From what I remember, I had it pretty close.
So how many did you have? How many did you have watching?
I had a couple of beers watching it, but I was tired though, you know.
I think but one thing he does, I've watched Barry talk about him, is
Yeah.
he has like off rounds where he just has you moving without you even knowing, what I mean? I think that's what he done to Fury. And I think that's why 9th round, you know, if the ref didn't jump in, he stops him because he tires you out like crazy, you know what I mean? And I think he pulls you into a false sense of like, I know, I'm winning this, you know what I mean? And then later on, he just goes back into auto dive and, you know, finishes you off most of the time. And
Well, I don't know whether it was maybe Fury's he's not the biggest puncher in the world, or whether Usyk can take a dig, but he got caught a couple of
I
times.
think he's got a hell of a chin because I know Barry, you can't half dig, you know what I mean? And I know he's coming off from thingy, but like Barry, you can dig, and Joshua can dig, and Joshua caught him clean, and you know, he's got a hell of a chin, and I think it makes him even more scary, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you beat him?
No, well, the other thing as well, which, you know, I know Fury thinks that he's won it. I've seen Frank Warren say that he thought Tyson won it. But in that 9th round, I think he was incredibly lucky to have the ref jump in.
Massively lucky, yeah.
Because if the ref doesn't jump in, and do you know what it reminded me of a little bit? When Conor McGregor fought, when he became 2-weight world champion, I think it was, and there's a bit where he's kind of ready to just hit him again, but he's already out, and the ref jumps in and calls it off. Obviously in boxing now, he just gets to the 10 count. And I just think the way he's kind of there, if you watch it back, the way the ref jumps in, you just think Tyson had his arms down, and he could have literally just had the cleanest dig ever at him.
And he was leaning on the ropes. They were the only thing holding him up, weren't they?
Three sets of ropes again to come to, wasn't it?
And he was almost leaning into the punch. So if you're thinking Usyk's going to be coming up and Tyson's kind of falling down, and it wouldn't have been he wouldn't have done a Deontay Wilder and got up from it. He was gone.
He was exhausted as well.
Yeah.
He done well to kind of finish the fight, but
so I think he was incredibly lucky to not get knocked out.
Feels like with boxing, you always have them as well, and it's annoying, innit? Because like you shouldn't be talking about it. It should just be like, but and I don't think if there's they wouldn't. Well, I know there's a rematch in the contract, obviously, but if he knocks him out, it's probably like, what's the point in the rematch? I mean, but obviously now they'll probably do it anyway. But
I didn't think Tyson, again, not that I know anything about boxing or tactics, but I didn't think Tyson used his size enough. I don't think he leaned on him enough, held him enough, and
the best Tyson's probably gone. I think when you live the lifestyle he's lived, you know, on the gear all the time, going up to 40 stone and coming back down, I think you just probably do turn old overnight. It catches up with you one day, you know what I mean? I think that's probably what's happened to him now. We've seen the best of him, and I don't think we'll probably ever see Tyson at that magic.
Do you think he gets beat again then?
He gets beat again, comfy. I think he probably gets stopped, but you know, I think the fight everyone wants to see is Joshua Fury, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think no matter if there's no belts, it's probably the biggest selling boxing fight you can.
I wouldn't. I'm not asked about them fighting for belts. I just want to see them.
Them scrap, yeah. And hopefully don't do it like a bit like the Mayweather Pacquiao thing when they're all finished. You know what I mean? The best time to do it is in the next kind of 18 months.
I think they need to do in the next year. Yeah. I think maybe next April. Do you know what I mean?
No one wants to see Joshua Usyk fucking free, you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, but what happens if Tyson wins the next one?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to do it's 1-1. You got to do another one.
Well, just think when it was Kell Brook and Amir Khan.
Yeah.
By that point, everyone was like, "We're not asked. Actually, we're not asked about it anymore. It's too late."
Jeff,
Yeah.
One thing I was a bit worried about was I thought at worst it's a draw, but Usyk's won. But at worst it's a draw. There's no chance Fury's won it on the cards, but I could maybe see if they go a draw. That was the worst case. Thankfully, it went to a split decision in the end. What do you think to the idea behind it's because it's in where it is, and Mr. Turkey Teeth, what's his name? I don't want him to come after me. Turkey or the Lord Turkey, what's his name?
No, well, the fella who does it all.
Yeah.
Fuck knows his name, but he's
Mr. Turkey from what's his name? Come on.
I'll find it for you.
Turkey, people will be shouting at the radio now. What's his name? Turkey.
Radio, yeah, fucking hell. What year were you then? On the cassette.
It's coming out your radio in the car. Are you listening in the car?
I get tunes on me, like.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a speeding tickets. On a rave in the car.
Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Turkey Al-Sheikh, yeah.
Oh, his actual name Turkey, is it?
Yeah.
Spelled like Turkey?
With an I instead of EY. Yeah.
Funny that. Hey, dude. I'd be rich, I'd be named Turkey.
Yeah, that second judge had it the other way, didn't he?
Yeah, he had it the other way, yeah. So my thinking is, right,
they need a narrative for the next one.
No, I just think he's kind of said, I don't want no dodgy scorecards. Yeah. Like, I honestly think, because...
Well, it's like, how do you define dodgy? Like, them judges, if they're not trying to
opinions,
dodgy,
innit?
they're just watching, aren't they? So it's like...
But what he's done...
They should think, I don't know which way that round went, but I don't want to be dodgy, so I'm going to give it to Fury, or I'm going to give it to Usyk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe I'm trying shit, but what I mean is, though, the money he's put in...
Yeah, it's filthy, well.
It's crazy, and the spectacle he's trying to create, I think he's kind of went, this does not end in controversy. I want a definitive winner, or if it's super close, then yeah, give it a draw, but I don't want one of these boxing matches that we have where it's just like a crazy scorecard. Right, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think there's
Make sure it's close, I think.
Well, I just, I don't know how they could do that. Maybe I am chatting shit, but I just think...
I think that's one of the good things about not having a home fighter. You know, like, if something's in the UK, you go, oh, that's only because it was in the UK, or something's over in America, oh, we only won because he's American, and it was an American fight. Sometimes if it's like a neutral ground.
American judges in America and English judges in England, I mean, but...
I thought it was really, really poor of Tyson to say, you got one fella...
Happy New Year.
I mean, that was hilarious. But you've got, when he brought up, it's only basically because, you know, that fella's country's at war.
You got to think that he's had fucking about 90 punches to the head, you know what I mean? It's probably needs to be looked at like that. Because Joshua did it, didn't he? And, I mean, they not think, because they got mad adrenaline coming down from him.
True, but I think, though, that's been in his head beforehand. Maybe, if it doesn't go my way, I'm going to fall back on it.
Probably.
And I think that was really, really poor. The other thing I thought was really interesting was TalkSport that week, I think, or this week just gone. Frank Warren went on TalkSport and spoke to Jim White and Simon Jordan. And it was quite a heated debate. And Frank Warren started putting it down to Tyson's bipolar. And Simon Jordan pulled him up on it and said, listen, you can't keep kind of saying like this. And basically Frank Warren was saying, look, that's a condition of bipolar. You just say things that's in your head, and he didn't mean it, he didn't mean that. And it was if you can go back and watch it on YouTube, it was a really good debate. And Simon Jordan held his own, to be fair with him. But I think in all of these boxing scenarios, and when it comes to sport, there's obviously a clear invested interest in Frank Warren. Frank Warren, Tyson Fury could run over a fucking set of school kids going to school, and he is Frank Warren's cash cow. He's not going to say it's Tyson's fault. He's going to say the kids ran in the road. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think so. You've always got to take.
I think it's a natural thing, though, isn't it? It's like managers who...
you protect your asset, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I think it's just a natural thing. So you probably can't say any wrong, you know what I mean?
No, and I get that. And I also think as well, I sound like I'm just moaning about everything now, and I'm not, because it's just life. Like, and listen, I'll stop recording here. I'll go and regardless what people may think, especially from you, Mark Owens, I will not be up all night thinking about the boxing in Saudi or about Man City's 115 charges. That, you know, like, will enjoy my life as normal. But it is just hilarious, I think, how people change with money. Like, do you remember the kick-off for the World Cup in Qatar? Because it's like sports washing, all this money, look what they're doing. Then they started with golf.
You was one of them?
Yeah, no, but I'm still like that now.
Yeah.
I'm still like that now.
Still watched it on Saturday though.
Of course I did, yeah, because what you do, that's what I'm saying. The world is fucked.
Yeah, it's a big, if you can't beat them, join them type scenario.
Massive,
like,
and everyone know who said this is wrong, right? They're all fucking at it though. Everyone is at it. And it makes me just feel a little bit sad to think, fucking hell, are people that easy to buy and sell? Because it started with the footy. Oh God, no, look at how many works have died building the stadiums. This is sports washing at its finest. This is wrong. Then they threw out money at Liv. Oh, well, actually, you know what? Liv needed a bit of thing. This is all right. So the narrative started to change a little bit then. Then it was they got the greatest snooker player of all time going, oh, you know what? Well, snooker was on its ass. They needed this, so this is good. By the time it's come to boxing, it's like they're putting on the greatest fights of all time. So in, 18 months, it's gone from these are stoning people for being gay. This is not good. It's sports washing at its finest. To nice one, Turkey lad. You've just given us the best fight of all time. It is bizarre, isn't it?
What you can do about it though, is it?
No, exactly.
That's the money that's at the top. So that's just the entertainment business, isn't it?
And in a weird way though, it comes back to the Man City thing because it's mad. It's mad. Our footy team, 40 miles away, are owned by a fella who's just put 10 billion quid into the UK economy, right? And you just go, well, what can you fucking do? It's fucking mad.
Take him and Everton now.
Of course you would, because you shan't. So it's one of them, and going back to the point about like how you can be asked about it or you're not, it's like, if you were asked about it, you'd get nowhere with it. Do you know what I mean? You'd be on podcast, you'd be talking to your mates, you'd be just screaming and moaning about it till you're blue in the face, and not gonna fucking change anyway. So you've just got to kind of laugh it off and go, well, it's fucked anyway, it's rigged, it's fucked.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is, it's sad because I love sport, and I just feel these kind of sporting stories are just lost a little bit now because it's just that elephant in the room of money. Do you know what I mean? And maybe it has always been like this, but I don't think it's as bad as it is now. On boxing as well, the other thing to see is Conor Benn. I think he won it. Listen, this is so complicated, I probably will get this wrong, but I think he appealed his case, didn't he? And I think he won. But then the British Boxing Board of Control and UK Anti-Doping then appealed his appeal, and now he's banned again. So this happened in 2022, the October of 2022. It's May of 2024, and I think he's had one fight behind closed doors maybe, and this is still hanging over his head.
I thought that kid, didn't he? And he was in America or my team, he said, he couldn't knock him out because he
wasn't it like in a hotel room?
Yeah, and people were saying like, because he's not on the juice. Yeah.
But it's, you go back to the thing of Frank Warren defending Fury, Eddie Hearn's the same.
No, yeah, of course. And I'd just love it though if, like, you know, you went out with him on the piss and he went, and maybe he does do this to people he knows and's like, oh yeah, fucking hell, he's a dickhead, isn't he? But he's obviously not got him.
Yeah, that's just PR for you, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah. I think that brings us up to that.
All done.
Do you know what? Here's one for you then. You know, obviously I've had a pop at the kind of the Man City regime there. If you just went down, do you think you'd be any different in your views on Man City? Because listen, by the way, I'm not saying you should be either more or less arsed, but it's like you only care about what you like. No one thinks about you more than you think about you. As much as I love you and you know, you're one of my best mates, like, I don't think about you as much as you think about you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're fucking in it for yourself.
Yeah,
everyone
is,
like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, so you, when you're thinking about Everton are sound now, they're safe, they're in the Premier League again for next season.
Probably not, man.
Would you be more asked about what I said about Man City or about deductions or FFP if you had gone down?
Maybe, yeah. maybe, but probably not, because it's not going to change. It's just always like,
Yeah.
I'm really dwell on it, and then just be like, fucking, die shout.
But that
That's what it would have been.
But you know what? You've kind of rounded it off in a perfect way, and that's what we are. We're in two camps. We're in two camps of, well, if I don't support the team that this is affecting, i.e. Liverpool and Arsenal, then I'm not fucking arsed.
Yeah.
They can fucking cheat all they want, because it doesn't really affect me. So that's that tribal thing coming into it.
Do you think you'd care more if you were in Arsenal's position?
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it now on social media. Arsenal are jumping on the 115 charges bandwagon a lot more now, because they've just been pipped.
Rather than just beating Villa.
Yeah, you can say that, but again, you're still hanging on to that, aren't you? So, like you say, because of tribal football supporters, if it affects you, it affects you, and you're going to hang on to it. If it doesn't affect you, like it didn't affect Everton, you're like, I need that fucking ass.
Yeah.
Or you go the other way, and you just accept it and go, it happens, doesn't it? I'm fucking not asked. I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. I still go the match. I still go for a pint. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. I'm not asked. And that's, I think, the two camps. I'm in probably a bit of both. Do you know what I mean?
You are passionate on your points though, aren't you?
Only when, like, I love, when I do my motivational talks, one of my favourite quotes to say is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change rooms. And like a lot of my friendship groups are like older people. Do you know what I mean? And I love just being around educated people who know what they're talking about. And some of my mates who are very educated, they've done very well for themselves, who are very successful.
Stop it. Yeah, I'm only here, you know what I mean? Make me blush.
So some of those friends are also passionate about footy. So when we're talking about footy, and again, they're saying things, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'd never thought about it that way. Fucking hell, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was linked to that. And you start going, fucking hell. And then they'll send you stuff and you read it, and you go, wow, bloody hell, that is interesting.
Together, yeah.
And then you kind of then tell your mates, and then again, you get that same thing. Some people are like, fuck off, lad, you're boring me. Because it's like, I'm not that arsed. And then other people are like, oh, okay. And that's what I'm saying. It needs someone who it's the job to really like look into certain things and stuff, because it can be either fascinating like it is for me, or you're just like, fucking lad, I'm not arsed.
Not arsed, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where we're at with sport. Hope everyone has a boss weekend. I'm going on the ALU, aren't I, Sunday?
Sunday, yeah, we're out in the AL. Bank holiday, innit?
Bank holiday. So if you
A few deep chats.
You see me and Jay in town, or depending on what time in the night, Jay hugging and kissing me, telling me how much
If I'm crying, just leave me alone. Going through a lot.
how much I saved Jay's life. So I gave Jay a motivational talk. That's how we became mates, when he was in year 11, being a little knobhead. He heard one of my talks, and he's the fine young specimen you see now.
You just made it sound like you've groomed him, by the way.
I tried to join the Marines, or said I was too hard or something. So
It's way too hard for us. Jay, thanks very much for coming down, mate.
Pleasure. Anytime.
Always love talking shite with you. Much thanks again. Everyone, massive thank you for listening or watching as you do. And don't forget, if you want to go and have a look at Soccer Locker for all your retro footy tops, you don't have to buy an England one. If you're a Scouser, don't worry. If you're not a Scouser, go and buy one. And you get 10% off if you type in Leggett10 at checkout. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.